Good evening, everybody. Jo Beth said that she tested the sound equipment this evening, so unlike last year, we won't have to move the podium up there during the presentation. So, my name is John Phipps. I'm the current board chair, and I just want to take this moment to thank you all and welcome you, and appreciate you joining us tonight for a night of giving thanks to God for all the blessings we've received at Habitat this year from our many donors, our partners, our volunteers, from all of you this past year. We truly appreciate all that you've given to enhance the mission of Habitat here in Evansville. As one of our core principles states, we undertake our work to demonstrate the love and teachings of Jesus, acting in all ways in accord with the belief that God's love and grace abound for all, and that we must be hands and feet of that love and grace in our world. And I'd just like to thank you all for being the hands and feet for Habitat. We truly appreciate that. Tonight we celebrate the Jubilee. Jubilee is a special Habitat word. It's a biblical word, a word which has to do with land, property, service, a word which indicates how much we truly hold things in stewardship and how it is good that we take time apart, take time to celebrate as a community what we have been over the past year. And tonight we will do that. I'd first like to start by thanking St. Mary's Medical Center. St. Mary's has been a great partner for Habitat for many years, and they are our sponsor of this evening's celebration, so we would like to just thank them and give them a round of applause. I'd also like to thank our pianist, Jane Crowley, tonight for entertaining us. She's entertained us at many different occasions, and we really appreciate that. Thank you, Jane. I'd also like to thank a special group of people that are here this evening. They are kind of the core of Habitat. They do a lot of the works behind the scenes. The board of directors, there's many of them that have joined us throughout the year. They give a lot of time behind the scenes, so thank you all for that. Also like to thank Mayor Lloyd Winnicky and his staff for the true partnership. I don't think he was able to join us this evening. He may be able to come in a little bit later. But just for the partnership that the administration has had with Habitat, it truly helps when we are able to partner with the mayor. We also have another special guest with us this evening, a longtime Habitat volunteer who's folded many newsletters and like many envelopes, especially in the early days of Habitat when we were just getting started. Her name is Lydia Schrader, and this evening she has recently turned, I don't think it was this evening, but she has recently turned 100 years old, doesn't look a day over 50. We'd like to just join in singing her happy birthday. If everybody could join me. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lydia. Happy birthday to you. Thank you for everything you've done over the years. We appreciate that. Finally, we're going to be giving away a lot of gifts this evening. We've got a special person who is responsible for putting together all these baskets, board of director member Beth Bolts. Beth, thank you for doing all that you've done to make this a special night. And now it's my privilege to introduce Habitat's executive director, Lori Reed, who will continue with the festivities.
So I'm totally going off script because John has another commitment tonight, but at the very end of our script, I get to share a little bit about John Phipps. And I am going to read my script. Later on, I'm going to completely shock Jo Beth and go completely off script, but this is important to get right. This year, John Phipps will be completing his 3-year term as the board chair. He has done an exemplary job in his role. I'm sure that everyone in the audience who has had the pleasure of serving with John can testify to his wonderful personal and professional qualities. He is even-tempered, like the picture of even-tempered. I am the opposite of even-tempered, so John is a great board chair. And I think he has become somewhat exhausted of having to manage me for 3 years. Anyway, that's kind of a joke, but really serious. I have gone off script. We've built 46 houses while John has served as chair. I tried to count while he served as a board member, but over 100 houses. And board members and board chairs in particular, everything that comes to the executive director, whether it's me or someone else, that board chair is there to call on. It's that one person that you know has your back and supports you. And I've had 3 board chairs, all excellent, and the service you guys give, I mean, it's like a second job. So John, I love you and thank you so much. I do have a gift for you. It's for you all. Isn't that beautiful? Show it to everybody. Okay, so tonight I just want, usually I'll give some State of the Union or some message or whatever, but I think tonight, after the last 18 months, we've had a heck of a last 18 months, like 12 months we're celebrating tonight. But what makes this work is pretty simple, what makes Habitat work. Volunteers. I swear, it is so beautiful, this organization, and the commitment that volunteers make, from core crew to the people that come in the office and do data entry and help get mailings out. It's just, it blows my mind that people give that much of themselves and their time and such high quality work and the hours you guys give. The second is house sponsors. This year, we had a very difficult message to deliver to house sponsors. That you know what, it's not $58,000, it's $80,000. Habitat can experience the recession a little later. And we had to get really honest about what it costs to build a house. And it costs us $80,000 a unit. And so we went out and we shared that with you. Lesser people and a lesser organization may have said, you know what, we can't do that this year. We're gonna postpone our build until next year. But no, you didn't do that. You guys sucked it up and you raised $80,000 a unit. And my lovely finance committee made it even more difficult by giving us a proceed to build policy, which means we really have to have the money in the bank before we can build these houses, or at least like 75% in the bank. Anyway, you guys rose to the challenge. It's amazing. Amazing. Just amazing. Then the board members. I just want to give you guys a special thanks. This is not easy work. This is challenging work. And when we get this many people together to do a job, swing hammers, manage logistics, I think I heard once that the most stressful job is air traffic controlling. The second most stressful job is general contracting. Well, we're general contracting with volunteers, and that is really hard work. These board members, day in and day out, like John and others, are doing what it takes to make this organization run, doing that executive function, and I just appreciate you guys so much, and I consider each one of the board members friends, so thank you. And then my staff, James Shell says, we're not your staff, we're just the staff. Anyway, I consider them my family, my second family. I walk into the office in the mornings, I'm gonna get all emotional, and they're smiling, they're happy, they're fun, they work hard, they are talented people. And when I see us as staff, we come and go, but we're the facilitators of volunteer movement. We consider it a privilege, but I want to thank the staff for what you guys do. I see it and I know how hard you work. Thank you very much. Jeff Seymour's here. His dad, I go to church at One Life, and his dad took a group of us to New York. I got to present, because of him, I got to present at this cool conference about the work we're doing here in Evansville at Habitat. And appreciated that very much, but went to go see this play called Newsies. I'll spare you the details, but it was magnificent. It was all talent. It wasn't a bunch of fancy costumes and lights and stuff. It was just amazing talent. But at the end, there was, at the kind of climax of this Broadway show, the line I remember was this, that when you're at the peak of your success, doing your best work, have your most power in life, that's when you need to invite the next generation in to what you're doing. And I think that is the single most important challenge for this organization at this time, is to invite the next generation in and to do it in a way that might force change or require change on our part, because generations are different. But I just want to encourage you to open your heart and open your minds in the coming years to invite that next generation in to take on this great movement called Habitat for Humanity. All right, so Shelley Kirk, she's been with us for 16 years, doing this 16 years. She does a fantastic job. She's delightful. I see her out everywhere, I think. She has a new job now, which is really cool. Maybe you'll be the next mayor, Shelley. I don't know. You have his job, I think. I'm not sure. Come on up here. She's going to lead us through the night and have times, and we're going to celebrate, and we're going to give gifts out, and hopefully we get all the gifts right. So thank you.
Thank you, Lori. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I tell you what, I have such an appreciation for what you all do and what you have done this past year. But then hearing what Lori had to say about some of the challenges that you all faced this year and stood up to them and forged right through it, I have an even greater appreciation for you. So tonight is a night of celebration. It is a night to say we did it. It's a night to say thank you so much for all you did do. And I am pleased to be the person here talking about all of that tonight. It is my pleasure to join you and give you some well-deserved thanks tonight. Your sharing of time, talent, and treasure in building a great city, because that's exactly what we're doing. Everything that you've done this year builds a stronger community, a stronger family unit, and a stronger Evansville, and that just blossoms even bigger. Stronger Indiana, stronger USA, a stronger world. I truly believe that. I think I say that every time I'm up here. And you know, I say this too, that I was bit with the habitat bug way back when, in the early 90s when we had our first blitz. And I was so taken by so many people who didn't know each other coming together to help strangers have a better life. And that's still true today. It just amazes me what a perfect example that is of God's love and what really we should be doing here on this earth. And I have to tell you that I was looking through the script tonight because Jane Michelle, bless her heart, she gives me a really big script. I couldn't stand up here and do this all by myself. She does the hard work. And I was tearing up when I read what you all have done. And so just stay tuned. We're going to have a really great evening tonight. We're going to begin by honoring our major gift donors. We call them foundation sponsors, those who have given $10,000 or more to help hardworking families become homeowners this year. On your program, you'll see the list of these names, and I'd ask you to follow along with me as each name is read. We'll hold our applause till the end if you don't mind. And we ask, as your name is called, please stand or step forward or wave your arms or shout woohoo or something like that so we know where you are, so that we can give you your basket of blessings, so appropriate for this evening, so we can deliver them by one of the Habitat staff. So, our major gift donors for this year: Bethel United Church of Christ, Deaconess Hospital, First Federal Savings Bank, I believe Monica is here, Monica Stinchfield, Tim and Debbie Fisher, Harding Szymanski and Company, Jim and Carol Havens, I believe Jim and Carol are here, the Hollander Group at Hilliard Lyons. Tricia was here a little bit earlier. Unfortunately, she couldn't stay with us, but she was here earlier. We certainly appreciate them. Home Depot Foundation, Jeff Overton, and of course, our 5 anonymous donors. Those are our major gift donors. Please join me in thanking them. Next, we want to honor our in-kind donors. Now, these are donors that have generously contributed materials and services valued in excess of $3,000. Thank you to Fehrenbacher Cabinets, Ferguson Enterprises Incorporated, Jim and Carol Havens, Heads Construction, Howard C. Johns, Jim Stauber and Black's Chapel United Methodist Church, Wrights Electric, I know Tony Wrights is here, South Central Communications, St. Mary's Medical Center, Tom Champion, Tracy Zeller Jewelry. Now, many of you are aware that Tracy Zeller Jewelry held an extraordinary golf outing this year, the Tracy Zeller Open at the Evansville Country Club. It was earlier this year, with all proceeds going to Habitat for Humanity Women Build. Now, the first year out, which was this year, the Tracy Zeller Open netted over $42,000 for Women Build. Yes. Tamara Caliendo is here this evening representing Tracy Zeller. Thank you so much, Tracy Zeller, for that. We also want to thank WEHT Local and Local 7 WTVW and Whirlpool Corporation. A big thank you to our in-kind donors tonight. And now we turn the spotlight to our partner families and their sponsors, my favorite part of the evening. I hope you've had a chance to meet and talk to the partner families that are here tonight, to talk to them personally. The sponsors and partner families, after the program, please pick up a complimentary copy of the poster for your build, and please proudly display it at your church or your place of business or your organization. We are so proud of another year where many, many people working alongside each other so that so many families can have a simple, decent home of their own. And that is a huge statement. Thank you to all of you for that. Millard Fuller, the founder of Habitat for Humanity, had a way of saying, "Oye!" You remember that? When he really wanted to celebrate the goodness of what he saw in partner families and those who were willing to walk alongside them. I think this is a night to celebrate and a night to say, "Oye!" Don't you? Oye! Absolutely. So, as each family and sponsor is recognized, please help me in celebrating by saying, "Oye." Stand up and wave or do whatever, but say, "Oye." Let's try it one more time. Oye. Yes, you guys will do it. I know you will. All right. It is a pleasure to go past Dawn Warren's house on Morton Avenue. This is our first partner family. Dawn Warren and Anonymous, in memory of John H. and Mary Ada Berg. Now, Dawn Warren's house on Morton Avenue has a beautiful wreath hanging on the door. It's home for her. And wonderful plants and flowers that she's taken care of. Dawn is a cancer survivor and the primary caregiver for her 3 children, her mother, and her niece. Yet, as Dawn says, if you're breathing, every day is a blessing. Dawn's sponsor is Anonymous, wanting only to be remembered in the person of the departed John H. and Mary Ada Berg. Now, Dawn loves her home, as you can tell by the way she takes such good care of it. And she loves being able to provide shelter for her family. It's a dream come true for her. Dawn, for you and your sponsor, we all say, "Oye!" Next up, Natalie Scott and Anonymous, again in memory of John H. and Mary Ada Berg. Now, this anonymous donor truly loves Habitat and the impact this ministry has on families in our community. Natalie Scott's house is the 8th one this supporter has sponsored in as many years, with total giving at $485,000 from this anonymous donor. That's amazing, $485,000. Now, Natalie is a full-time manager at McDonald's, and her dream is to go back to school and study nursing. Natalie began her first day at Sweat Equity by climbing a ladder and helping put on a roof for another partner family. Her journey toward financial stability for herself and her 2 daughters began on that day, and her eye has been on that prize ever since. This year, that dream is coming true. Let's all say, "Oye!" The Fund for Humanity. Millard Fuller, again, the founder of Habitat for Humanity, envisioned a revolving fund where partner family mortgage payments would help build the homes of other families. That's a beautiful thought, and right here we put that into action. That is exactly what has happened. This year, 2 houses have been sponsored by the Fund for Humanity. I'd like to recognize the 2 families who are living in these houses right now. Please join me in congratulating Charles Axley and Melissa Hayden, who worked so hard to become homeowners. Go ahead. There you go. Now, Charles works at Deaconess Hospital. He lives fairly close to work. Melissa works at Shoe Carnival and helps spread the Habitat message there. So let's all, one more time, say, Oy! Debbie DeVold and Thrivent builds Lutherans for Habitat. Debbie is the primary caretaker of her 3 grandchildren and is so proud of their achievements in sports and school. They were living in a house built in 1904 with significant safety issues. Now she says, I can go to sleep without having to worry about the house catching on fire. Think about that. This is the first time she's been able to go to sleep with her grandchildren and not have to worry about her house catching on fire in the night. Debbie's new home is a 23rd home built by Lutherans for Habitat and the 10th built in partnership with Thrivent Financial for Lutherans. So you Lutherans for Habitat, Thrivent, and Debbie, let's hear it for you. Oye! Rhea Fields and Trailer Brothers. Rhea Fields works as a phlebotomist, attends Henderson Community College with an eye toward a career in nursing, and cares for her 4 children. I get kind of tired just thinking about that. That's a lot of work. Her oldest daughter is a student at Indiana State University and told her mom that she's building Habitat homes with her local campus chapter. How great is that? Rhea sponsors Trailer Brothers. Since 2005, the company has sponsored and their employees have helped build 4 different Habitat houses. Now please stand up and be recognized. Glenn Agler and Dennis Schmidt from Trailer Brothers, and Rhea as well. Let's all say, Oye! Anonymous and Lakia Merriweather. When Lakia's house was dedicated, she was surrounded by many people who have helped her on her life's journey. Lakia and her 3 children have moved from a shelter to Lucas Place, which is a transitional shelter, to an apartment, and finally into the very own Habitat home. Habitat was a goal of Lakia's for a very long, long time, and finally, thanks to an anonymous donor who believes passionately in the power of home ownership, provides stability and a strong foundation for the future, Lakia's family is in a home of their own. Let's say, Oye! Steve Titzer, Retirement Bill, Harding, Szymanski and Company, and Rosalind Robinson. Steve Titzer began working at Harding, Szymanski and Company in 1976 and served as president and CEO from 1995 to 2010. When he made plans for retirement, he thought, I don't need a party, I don't need a new watch. What I'd like to do is, can you guess it? Build a Habitat home. Steve wasn't able to be here this evening, but partner family Rosalind Robinson can testify that he's been out there almost every day with friends and family and Harding Szymanski employees. Rosalind is a dispatcher at Meade Johnson and recently graduated with an associate's degree from Ivy Tech in, guess what, accounting. It's been an incredible experience of teamwork, and we salute you, Rosalind. Let's all say it. Oye! Yeah, Rosalind. That's how you do it, oye, for sure. Good girl. All right, Catholics for Habitat and James and Lindsay Herring. James and Lindsay Herring are devoted to their marriage and family, plain and simple. James works full-time at Arby's, and Lindsay is a stay-at-home mother to their 2 children, Cody and Sophia. Partnering with Catholics for Habitat has been a great experience for them, and they've done it as a family. This year, Catholics for Habitat had more than 240 donors and churches who contributed to their build and have a great annual barbecue, now in its 6th year, that has raised over $38,000 to help hardworking families become homeowners. That's a lot of barbecue. James and Lindsay, Catholics for Habitat, let's shout a big "Oye!" for them. Ron and Kathy Hollander, anniversary build, University of Evansville, and Sarah Johnson. Sarah Johnson and her husband Dwayne have been working side by side for a long time to make the dream of home ownership come true. They could have no better partners than the Ron and Kathy Hollander family. Ron and Kathy, their 4 children, Tammy, Terry, Tricia, and Tim, and their spouses, and their 11 grandchildren, that's a full crew right there, all decided that the best way to celebrate Grandma and Grandpa's 50th wedding anniversary was to do a Habitat house together. They involved all of their friends and Ron and Kathy's parish, Resurrection, as well as Resurrection School's Teen Power Group. They've also partnered with the University of Evansville on the bill. Now, Ron is a graduate of UB, and this year the University of Evansville is initiating a new program to promote social responsibility and to demonstrate how college students can make an impact in the community. What better way to make an impact than by building a Habitat house? Sarah and Dwayne and the family of Ron and Kathy Hollander and the University of Evansville, we all say, "Oye!" Mount Vernon Ministerial Association and Country Mark. Construction began last month in Mount Vernon on 2 Habitat for Humanity homes, thanks to a challenge grant from Country Mark and the generous support of the Posey County community. In 2011, Country Mark announced it would match all contributions up to $55,000 to build 2 Habitat for Humanity homes in Mount Vernon. The community took the challenge, and enough funds were raised to build homes for 2 Mount Vernon families, Reverend Myers and Anna Heitman, as well as Danielle Moore and her son Jaden. Now, Reverend Myers and Anna Heitman moved to Mount Vernon in the year 2000 to lead the First Nazarene Church. Now, while they've been in Mount Vernon, they saw families and even small children going without food. And they decided to make this need their personal mission. They opened the At the Cross mission in 2007, which has been helping provide food and basic needs since that time. A Habitat home is a dream come true for them. Danielle Moore is a CNA at West Park Rehabilitation. She has had one dream in life for her 8-year-old son Jaden to attend college. She presently lives in a trailer and is looking forward to providing a safe and secure home for Jaden, her son. To both families, to Country Mark, and to the whole Posey County community, let's all say, "Oye!" United Church of Christ, Disciples of Christ, and Stephanie Baker. Since 2002, 17 United Churches of Christ and Disciples of Christ churches have joined together to raise funds and recruit volunteers for the UCC DOC build. Stephanie Baker's home is the 11th home built by this group of churches as they seek to promote affordable housing opportunities in the community. Now this year, several God things happened with their fundraising. An anonymous contributor gave $15,000 to get the build started. Bethel United Church of Christ gave $25,000. And then remember what Lori said about the houses ended up costing a lot more this year? Well, when almost all of the resources for this house had been tapped out, another anonymous contributor said, "How much will it take to finish this?" and gave exactly that amount. Now, Stephanie Baker has been a licensed cosmetologist at Deshays Salon on Washington Avenue for the past 5 years. More than anything, she wants a better life for her children. Now, she carries a very precious letter in her wallet. This letter was given to her by her 9-year-old daughter, titled, "Read whenever you're sad or mad or happy or whenever." And listen closely, because this is what that letter says. "My mom is my hero. She is the bestest hero I could ask for. If you ever see her, tell her she is the best mommy, sister, cousin, auntie in the whole wide world. And she's good at being all of that at the same time. But most of all, she is my hero mother. Congratulations to Stephanie and to all 17 United Church of Christ and Disciples of Christ churches. Let's all say, Amen. Industrial contractor Skanska and Donna Staten. Later this fall, the IC Skanska build, their 6th build with Habitat for Humanity of Evansville, will be in full swing in partnership with Donna Staten. Denny Quinn, head of IC Skanska, feels that homeownership provides individuals and families with a foundation and the stability and security that they need so they can focus on other aspects of their life to become the very best version of themselves that they can be, and that everyone deserves this opportunity. We can all agree with that, can't we? In the late 80s, Donna had a dream of becoming a homeowner. She was initially denied because of credit issues, but that dream was never far from her mind. She currently works at second shift in housekeeping at St. Mary's, and that has been a blessing as she has worked on her sweat equity. Her advice to anyone thinking about Habitat and homeownership, she says, never give up and keep trying. I did, and now I'm going to be a homeowner. Congratulations, Donna. And IC Skanska, let's all say, Oye! United Methodist Build in memory of Jim Fowler and Kendra Collier. This is the 6th United Methodist Build, and perhaps the most special of all, as it will be dedicated to the memory of Jim Fowler, longtime Habitat volunteer, founder of the Wednesday crew, now known as the Core Crew, member, along with his wife, Emily, who's also looking down at us from heaven right now, of Habitat's Perigo Cricket Society, and most importantly, one of the most active and revered lay leaders of the United Methodist Church, with many, many elected and appointed offices to his credit. Now, when Jim passed away in 2011, over $15,000 was donated to Habitat in his memory. Those contributions were seed money for this build. When this year's United Methodist Build partner family, Kendra Collier, was a teenager, she volunteered for Habitat in New Haven through the YMCA's Diamonds program. Who knows? She might have even seen Jim Fowler there because he was there a lot. Jim would enjoy what Kendra has to say about her Habitat experience and her dreams for the future. She says, my dream is to see my children go to college. I always want to set a positive example for them so they know they can accomplish anything they want. If I keep accomplishing the things I want, they will follow behind. To Kendra and to the United Methodists who will build with her, we say, Oye! As we remember Jim Fowler and think about how much the Core Crew guys and gals mean to us, the ones who come out each and every week to get the job done, all the members of the Core Crew, please stand and receive our thanks. So all the members of the Core Crew, please, the Core Crew, stand up right now. We want to say, Oye! Thank you, members of the Core Crew. There are a lot of people in the Core Crew that give countless hours as members of one of Habitat's committees or task forces, and there are a lot of them. Church relations, real estate, late pay, family selection, development, construction, finance, partner family training and engagement, safety, governance. That is a big list of what many of our volunteers do. Please stand if you have served on any of these committees. The church relations, real estate, late pay, family selection, development, construction, finance, partner family training and engagement, safety, governance. Please stand up. And we want to say, Oye! Thank you so much. move on to two very special awards, the Dee McMillan Award and the Jim Fowler Award, given each year to Habitat volunteers to exemplify the qualities of the award's namesake. Dee McMillan was a founding member of Habitat for Humanity of Evansville. She lived the Habitat philosophy and inspired others to embrace this cause. This year's Dee McMillan Award goes to a gentleman who began his service to Habitat as a member of the concrete crew. Now, if anybody has ever lifted concrete blocks or poured driveways, you know that this job can get old in a hurry, especially if you're getting a little old yourself. So this guy eventually went to yard barns, and he got a whole group of cool guys around him to do the same thing. If you come by the Habitat warehouse on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, or Fridays, these guys are there building yard barns. The only problem with being a member of the yard barn crew is that the yard barn crew is also the mowing crew in the summertime. This summer was not quite as hot as it was last summer, but it was still pretty hot. And when you're out there mowing, that's pretty bad. When it's hot, the grass grows even more, so you got a lot more mowing to do. And these guys, you know what? They didn't do them. They just do it. They get it done. All over town, taking care of Habitat properties so that we're not the ones getting citations from the city. That's a big job. We've heard on good authority that in his younger days and as an accountant, and he still works during tax season of the year, before he'd go to work, he'd go to the Little Sisters and help shave residents there. Truly, truly a very nice guy. Join me in a round of applause for the winner of the 2013 Dee McMillan Award, Mr. John Buteau. Let's all say, congratulations, Mr. Buteau, and thank you for all that you do.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
This is
you.
a wonderful organization on earth. I have been gone a long time ago. There was a bottled water, all the rest. Even Jack Man.
Our next special award, the Jim Fowler Award, goes to an individual who has gone above and beyond in the area of construction. I think many of you are aware that Lutherans for Habitat have the longest string of consecutive houses at 23. I do believe that this gentleman has worked on every single one of them. He is a faithful member of Emmanuel Lutheran Church and always the first to remind you that they have the very best fish fry in town. In 2010, he tore the tendons from his right shoulder and had to have surgery. The doctor told him that the surgery would be very painful, as would the rehab. When he asked the doctor how soon he could use a hammer again, the doctor told him that maybe never. Obviously, this doctor didn't know this year's winner of the Jim Fowler Award. He is known as Dr. Vinyl. He loves IU basketball and Cincinnati Reds baseball. And most of all, he loves Habitat for Humanity. Please join me in congratulating the winner of this year's 2013 Jim Fowler Award, Delbert Whitman. Congratulations, Mr. Whitman, and thank you for all that you do. And thank you to all of you for all that you do. We would not be here tonight celebrating all of these wonderful houses and all of these wonderful homes for partner families if it weren't for all of the hard work that you all do. Thank you so much for building a stronger community for us. This concludes the awards portion of our program, and I want to turn the podium now back over to Lori Reed. Thank you all for agreeing.
So last year, we did this new, more casual event, and just as a reminder, house sponsors, though we didn't deliver a gift for you, you guys have these really cool things for your wall out there, so don't forget those. And then if we didn't get to you with the bread and the little gifty thing, please come and get it, because that was more challenging than I thought it was going to be. We're getting our exercise. And I do have to say, we got a call from the volunteer that was going to bake the bread for you all last night, and Michael, at the very last minute, baked all that bread for you. So, thank you. And it's very tasty, very, very tasty. Anyway, we have a video for you. I hope you enjoy it, and then I'll come back up, say like 30 seconds more of stuff, and we'll pray, and then we can eat some more and have a good time, okay?
Sharon, and I have lived on Shapewood Avenue for approximately 2 years. It will be 2 years in December. I teach with TAFE, and I teach children who are struggling at school, and I also help people to obtain their GED. And in working with these people, I always ask them, why did you quit school when you did? Why did you not finish? And the answer is almost always the same. They say that they started getting behind in school, and then they got further and further behind, and then it just came to a point they were so far behind that they just wanted to quit, and they did. And so, what we want to do is to make sure that each child on Shapewood, there's 19 houses here, and that each child on this street can read at their grade level and also do math at their grade level. What we decided to do was to begin having meetings at my house. It was Hank, Danita, myself, the residents who live here on Shapewood, and Sister Jane was here, and Nadine was going to help us. What we wanted to get was a sense of what was important to all of the residents. So we developed a survey. And then Hank and Danita are the ones who did the actual survey. And it's really funny how things work, because when we got the results of the survey, the results were really different than what we expected. people aren't as much concerned about education as they are about safety. Safety was the main issue that people are concerned about. And so from that, taking that information, our next step is to plan a meeting with all of the residents to have a block meeting and to discuss this issue of safety. Our hope is to address the immediate needs that the residents have a concern about, the safety issues and anything else. But long term, what we want to make sure is that the children, again, are at least on grade level, if not above grade level, because we have tutors that are available that are just waiting. All we have to do is to identify the children who are struggling in school, and then these tutors that we know of will come in and get the children up to speed. And from that, what we want is that, and hope, is that the children will like school. If they're successful in school, we feel like they will stay in school and graduate. And then from that, they can either go on to college or they can go on to a training, something they're interested in. And from that, then the children here become self-sufficient. And that probably is one of our largest goals, is the children on this street become self-sufficient. And from that, they break this cycle of poverty that they have been raised in. Something that has really impressed me and encouraged me is the willingness of the residents on this street to take ownership of this project. And oh my goodness, how they have, I know Hank and Anita have both jumped in with both feet to help me on this. And there's other residents, Sarah who's interested, Chrissy who's interested on to make this street the very best street that it can be.
The thing that makes Habitat so special is that families that buy houses from us are not recipients of charity, but partners in building a great community. And this, though we built Shapewood in a different year, many of you were involved in that project, but we wanted to highlight the work that the Habitat families themselves are doing to help improve the lives of their children. It's just a beautiful thing. It's oftentimes when you watch a video, it's all rosy and everything. But, and there are some challenges for them, but nonetheless, they're pulling together as a community and working on behalf of their children, and that's just a testament to what you're doing through your work through Habitat. You're not just providing a house, but a home and communities all over. So thank you so much. I think that concludes our program tonight. We wanted to leave enough time for you guys to visit because we hear that's what you like to do the most, and I would like to invite Brian Bushkill up to end with prayer. And again, don't forget house sponsors, don't forget your stuff out there. And if you didn't get a gift up here, please come get that. And feel free to hang around as long as you want, the food's still around. So Brian, thank you.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here among all of you this evening. Before we end our program, why don't we close with a word of prayer. Gracious God, it is such a joy to gather this evening and celebrate and remember all of the work that goes into this wonderful program. We thank you tonight for the donors. And thank you tonight for the volunteers. We thank you tonight for the staff, keeps everything running well. And most of all, we thank you for the residents, because it is for them that all this work is undertaken. As we prepare to depart this evening, we ask your continued blessings on Habitat and the wonderful work that it does, not just here in Evansville, but around the world. May we depart now in peace. Amen.